It's not your effort. It's not your motivation. It's your identity. Most people misunderstand identity. They think it's just who they are in a superficial sense. A name, a title, a role. But identity runs much deeper. Identity is the operating system of the mind. It silently determines what you believe is possible. It decides how you respond to challenges. It dictates the boundaries of your ambition before you even take action. Think about it. Why does one person with no experience launch a business and succeed, while another, equally talented, struggles for years, never moving forward? It's identity. It's what your mind tells you about who you are. Before you even try, your mind acts consistently with your identity. Not your goals, not your dreams, not your affirmations. If you tell yourself you are a hard worker, but deep down, believe you are not disciplined, your mind will find ways to sabotage every attempt to prove otherwise. If you set a goal to earn more money, but inside, you believe wealth is for other people, not for you, your actions will unconsciously align with that belief. Identity does not argue. It simply acts. It whispers, "This is who you are. This is what is natural for you. This is the life you deserve." And here's the crucial truth most people miss. You cannot reach a goal you do not believe is part of who you are. This is why affirmations often fail. You can repeat, "I am wealthy, I am successful, I am unstoppable," all day. But if your identity contradicts those words, the mind treats them like lies. It ignores them. It resists them. Identity is the gatekeeper. Until it changes, motivation will always feel temporary. Effort will always feel heavy. Progress will always feel like a struggle. Now notice something subtle. Identity is not something permanent. It is learned. It is formed by experiences, beliefs, and repeated messages you accepted as truth. From childhood, family, school, and society, each experience quietly shaped what your mind thinks is possible. If your parents said things like, "Be realistic," "People like us don't become rich," "Don't aim too high, you'll fail," your mind absorbed them. And now, years later, those messages continue to control you, without you even realizing it. Even worse, identity feels natural. It feels like you. This is the trap. The cage is invisible. The bars are thoughts you never question. The walls are self-limiting beliefs you think are facts. The first step to breaking free is awareness. Begin to notice the labels you carry. I am not good with money. I am not confident in public. I am not a creative person. These are not truths. They are rules your mind accepted, instructions that now guide your behavior. And here is a second step. Understand that identity is built through repetition. Your mind believes what it sees often. If you repeat actions, thoughts, and beliefs long enough, your identity updates automatically. That means you are not powerless. You can reshape your mind. You can rewrite your story. But it cannot happen by thinking alone. You cannot just say who you want to be. You must begin acting like it, consistently. Even small actions count. Even subtle shifts matter. Your mind watches what you do more than what you say. And every time you act in alignment with a new identity, the old rules weaken, the cage cracks. Here's the paradox. The moment you begin acting outside your old identity, it feels uncomfortable. It feels unnatural. It feels like you are pretending. That is precisely why most people quit. Their mind resists change. It pulls them back to safety. It whispers familiar thoughts. Stop. You don't belong there. This isn't you. But that whisper is lying. That whisper is your old programming trying to survive. And survival is not the same as truth. You are not the whisper. You are the observer. You are the creator. You are capable of more than your past experiences suggest. Now, I want you to feel this clearly. Every time you take one small action aligned with the identity you want, your mind begins to shift. Every time you act against the old limiting beliefs, you are rewriting your internal rules. Every repeated success, no matter how small, expands your identity. This is the real secret that successful people understand, even if they cannot explain it. They do not try to be more motivated. They do not rely on luck or inspiration. They become the person capable of achieving the results they want, and everything else follows. Your task is simple, but not easy. Identify the beliefs that define who you think you are. Recognize which ones are holding you back. Begin acting in ways that contradict those limiting beliefs. Repeat every day, consistently, until the new identity becomes the default. It will feel strange. It will feel uncomfortable. That is normal. Growth always feels unnatural at first, but discomfort is a sign of transformation. It is proof that the cage is breaking, and when the cage breaks, life changes. Effort feels lighter. Motivation is no longer fleeting. You begin acting naturally as the person capable of success. This is why identity matters more than skill, knowledge, or talent. Because your mind does not respond to goals. It responds to identity. The cage is not external. It is internal. And once you understand it, you can dismantle it. In the next volume, we will go deeper into the emotional layer, the hidden attachments, habits, and cravings that pull you back even when your identity begins to shift. For now, remember this truth. You are not defined by what you have done. You are defined by who you believe you are, and that belief can be rewritten. Pay close attention, even after you understand programming and survival thinking. Even after you begin to reshape your identity, there is another layer that silently controls your actions. A layer most people never notice: emotions. Specifically, emotional patterns, the habits of feeling that your mind has become addicted to. You may think of addiction as something external, substances, food, even social media. But the most powerful addictions are internal. They are feelings. They are emotional states you return to again and again, even when they cause suffering. And here is the truth. You do not always choose your feelings. Your brain chooses them, and it chooses familiar feelings, even if they are painful. Consider this for a moment. Have you ever noticed how, no matter how much progress you make, you sometimes return to the same old struggles? The same self-doubt, the same frustration, the same patterns of procrastination, even relationships or habits that you know are toxic. You might call this weakness. You might call this failure, but it is not. It is emotional addiction. Your mind prefers what it knows, even when it hurts you. Comfort does not always feel like ease. It can feel like misery you are used to. Think about a time you stayed in a situation that was clearly unhealthy. Why did you stay? Not because it was safe, not because it was logical, but because it felt familiar. Because even pain has rhythm. Even struggle has predictability. And the mind craves predictability above all else. This is why people sabotage themselves. You may begin a new habit, start a new routine, or even shift your mindset. And yet, you feel drawn back to old emotional states. You feel lonely, you feel anxious, you feel unworthy, and your mind thinks, this is safe, this is familiar, this is predictable. Even though it is harming you, emotional addiction is subtle, it is quiet. It does not shout, it whispers, return, stay. This is comfortable, and if you do not see it, you will obey it. But here is the key. You can break it. The first step is awareness. Notice your emotional cycles. Observe which feelings dominate your life and when they appear. Notice the triggers. Notice how often your mind returns to them without reason. This observation is not passive, it is active. It is the first step to freedom. The second step is understanding. Your emotional patterns are not random. They were formed over years of repeated experiences. You learned that certain feelings keep you connected to what is known. You learned that anxiety, fear, guilt, or anger have a familiar rhythm. This is normal. It is part of the process. The difference now is that you are aware. You are observing the pull. You are choosing. And choice is freedom. Here is a subtle truth most people never realize. You are addicted not to struggle itself, but to familiarity, to predictability, to the known rhythm of your own suffering. And the mind clings to this rhythm because change feels risky, even though the risk of staying the same is far greater. So when you begin to act differently, to feel differently, your mind panics. It whispers, return, this is too new, this is dangerous. But you now know the voice, you recognize it, and you do not obey it blindly. The moment you act against emotional addiction, something incredible happens. Your mind begins to rewire. Your nervous system begins to feel new states as normal. Your brain begins to reward growth instead of familiarity. And slowly, the cycle of self-sabotage loses its grip. This is the layer beneath programming and identity. It is quiet, invisible, and extremely powerful. And it is the reason so many people fail after learning about mindset and motivation.